right, so here we go on the next part. Let's build the stem next. To do that, I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to put that sketch right here on this flat surface here. And then I'm going to do a intersect tool, Control-Shift-Z. And I'm going to change it over to bodies here instead of entities. And I'm going to click on the pumpkin and click OK. From that, I'm going to then, oh, we haven't named the pumpkin yet. Let's do that. I'm going to double click on body 2 over here and name it pumpkin. I'm not sure I can do that. Yep, that works. Now I'm going to hide the pumpkin. And now I've got the trace of where the pumpkin is on here. I'm going to create a polygon on here, but I want that polygon to line up with the lumps of the lobes of the pumpkin. So I'm going to grab a construction line, go from the very center out to one of these corners out here. It doesn't matter which corner I go to. And then I'm going to come here and do create polygon, and I'm going to do an inscribe polygon. I'm going to leave the construction line on, and I'm just going to stretch it out. Tab. Now, the stem has half as many lobes as the pumpkin does. So instead of 10 on the outside, I'm going to do 2, or sorry, 5. If you did a different number, just make sure you're grabbing that number from it. Half of however many you did. I'm going to make it mostly the size of this base, like right there-ish. And I'm going to call that good. Make sure it's not touching. There should be a little bit of gap between the polygon and there. And then I'm going to come over here and say create arc, 3-point arc, and turn X to turn off the construction line, one side to the other side, and here it's going to lobe in. So I'm going to do it. See how I have this? There's like this little snap tool that turned on. I want to avoid that because I want to change it. So I'm going to go over, put too much into it, and then just create. If when you clicked it, it turned black, that means you're snapped in place. Control-Z to undo it and pull the lobe out farther till it comes up blue like this. We want to be able to edit it later. And we're going to do a quick circular pattern here. We're going to pattern this arch, or arc, and then we're going to do it on the center point here, and we want 5 of these this time. And I'm going to hit enter. I don't want this overlap here, so I'm going to decrease them until... Oh, that's weird. The polygon is changing shape as well. So let me do this. Let me hit D for dimensioning. I want to lock this polygon. Whoop, escape. I'm going to click off here off of nothing. So I'm not selecting anything. Then hit D. And then I'm going to click on one side of the polygon. Drag that out. I'm going to make mine an 18. Just a round number like this. That'll lock the polygon in place. I'll hit escape. And this is why we want to lock stuff down. When it was orange like that, it means it could change shape. Now as I drag these circles in and out, now the polygon can't change shape. So that allows me to have a little more control over the object. I can't grab it again. I'm going to do Control-Z to undo until I can grab it again. There we go. And now... yeah, that looks pretty good. Remember, you can always come back and change it later if you want to. All right, I'm going to turn the pumpkin back on. And now I can just extrude this. And I can just pull it straight out like this. And I can even put a taper to it. Let's say I want to do a 25-degree taper. Okay, that tapered out. I want to go in. So I'm going to change the positive to negative. That's way too much. Let's do a negative 5-degree taper. There we go. And you can see right there, we're getting something that looks sort of stemish, but it's weirdly straight up and down. There's no stems that come straight out forever like this. So I'm not going to actually do an extrusion here. I'm going to do something a little different. So I'm going to hit cancel. I want to actually have this extrude out and then turn a little bit. To do that, I need to create a new sketch and show it the direction I want it to go. So I'm going to create this sketch on this front plane right here, or the side plane, just not the bottom plane. So I'm going to click the plane right there. And I'm going to do a intersect tool again, so Control-Shift-Z. I want to make sure it says bodies here, and I'm going to click on the body and click OK. I'm now going to hide the pumpkin again, and you can see this is the outside shape of my pumpkin that I'm working with. And there's the center of the star is right there on that black line. So tip back to the front. Actually, maybe I'll leave it tip a little bit so you can kind of see what's happening. So now I'm going to create a line, and I'm going to come here to this center point right here. I'm going to go up just a little bit, maybe 5 millimeters. Let's do 5. And then from there, I'm going to click, and then I'm going to drag so I can get this like little weird shape, like this curve coming off this way. And probably going a little bit higher. I'm going to end it like, yeah, about 30 is what I'm going to end it at. Escape. And now I have this look. That might be a little high. I'm going to bring it down. I can just adjust it a little bit here. I don't want it to lean over too much. It's going to be really hard to 3D print that. I want to just have a little bit of lean like that. I'm going to say finish sketch. Awesome. Now I'm going to use this cool feature. This is called, so we've used loft to connect different shapes to each other and loft them out. We're going to do sweep now. And what sweep does is it takes a shape and it runs it along a path. So it can sweep out like this, like kind of like a pipe like this. So we're going to do sweep. And we're going to sweep out this complicated star shape right here. And the path we're going to sweep it along is there. So all of a sudden we can see it kind of tipping over to the side, which looks kind of cool. I'm going to turn the pumpkin back on and we can start seeing it. Well, that's just too thick. So I'm going to actually change this and I'm going to make it taper. And we're going to do like a -5 degrees. Oh wait, that was distance. Sorry. I'm going to click on this arrow to pull it back to the full distance, so 1.0 distance. Taper angle, we're going to do -5 on. And that's not much. Maybe I'm going to do 15. That's way too much. I'm going to do like 7. Okay, and I don't like what that looks like, so I'm going to drag this. I can't do it right now, I'll do it later. And I'm going to put a twist to it too. And I'm going to put a lot of twist into it. I don't know, like 90 degrees of twist. And now it's, it might be too much. I'm going to go with 70 degrees of twist. Just playing around. And now we've got a pumpkin like that. Looks pretty good. I might go 8 degrees. See how that goes. And then I'm going to just click. Oh, and on here I don't want join, I want new body. Make sure you switch to new body. We want to be able to print the stem in a different color, so we're going to create as a new body. If you want the same color as the rest of the pumpkin, just click join there and it'll make one body. Here we're going to get a second body. Awesome. And now I want it to be a little higher up. I don't know if I like the way that looks so much. So I'm going to actually take this, I'm going to come back and edit this sketch here. And I'm going to just grab this point here. I'm going to drag it up a little higher, maybe a little bit there. And then finish sketch. See what that does. All right, for my money, that looks pretty cool. I think that looks awesome, just like that. Play around with your sketches and stuff until you get something you think looks like what you want. All right, so that's the stem, and now we have another body. Let's call this the stem. All right, I'm gonna hide the stem. Next thing we want to do is we want to hollow this out. Let me show you what it looks like right now. We're going to do this interesting thing. Under the measure, the inspect menu, we're going to click section analysis. And what that allows us to do is do a cutaway of our model. So I'm going to choose this side, or you can choose this, just one of the vertical walls. And you can see what it does is it just cuts away and shows you the inside of it. Notice how that's all like hatched and blue? That's because it's a solid pumpkin. If we printed this right now, we'd be wasting a ton of plastic, printing plastic all through the middle. So what we're going to do is hit cancel here, and we're going to actually carve out the center of the pumpkin. To do that, we've got to come all the way back to our original sketch. And I'm going to right click on this over here and edit sketch of our first sketch. And then what I'm going to do is use an offset tool, and I'm going to click here. I'm going to offset it inside about 3 millimeters. Oops, except it should be -3 for the inside. And yeah, I think that looks good. And then I'm going to take this tool, click over here straight across, and this one I'm going to come up at an angle. I'm going to go, an angle, trying to match this angle a little bit. Just have a little bit of angle there. Now what I'm going to do is, this is pretty close to the outside edge of the pumpkin, and this is going to be the part we're going to carve out in here. So we're going to do finish sketch. We're going to turn our profile sketch back on. I'm going to hide the pumpkin real quick, and then I'm going to do a revolve command of this space and this space. And my axis I'm going to revolve it around is this outside edge here. And notice how it creates that shape that we had before, except smaller. So now I'm going to turn the pumpkin back on, and right away Fusion's going to say, oh, okay, you want me to carve out the inside. So the red is the cutaway part. And now I'm going to just say, okay, cut it. I'm going to turn that profile back off real quick. And now I'm going to come here and look at the profile tool, or the inspect section analysis. I'm going to do it off one of these faces again. And it's showing me the back side of it, so let me flip it around. And now you can see what we have. So we have a carve out. We have managed to carve out our pumpkin, so now it's mostly empty. And right there. So now we've got a pretty empty pumpkin that we can work with. Saves a lot of plastic, plus we can make it into like a jack-o'-lantern. I clicked OK instead of cancel, so it left it in this spot so I can see in it. To turn it on or off, now I have an analysis folder. If I open the analysis folder and I click this, it'll turn off that section analysis. If I turn it back on, it'll shove me back inside. So none of this out here was deleted, it was just hidden from my view so I could see inside. All right, I'm gonna turn the stem back on, and the stem looks good still. Go back to the home view.